Welcome back to yet another tribal council. Check out those glorious fluffy clouds in the distance over those mountains. I am obsessed with this view and finally had breakfast out here for the first time all weekend, and it was delightful. Our players are not having breakfast. They are entering for another tribal council. We've got Kaylee, Amy, Liz, Kendall, Kira, Isaiah, and Ned, all filing on in. Getting themselves comfy. Oh, I like that. And our jury seats are in the shade because we treat our jury so well here.
Not sure which side they're.
Okay.
I'll now bring in the jury. Andy, Patrick, and Dion voted out at the last. Okay, we got you. No matter what stool he sits on, he's always one. All right, I got to start with you, Amy. I mean, there was the whole conversation that it was a done deal. Everyone had said their goodbyes. Was that all an act for me, or did you sincerely believe that?
I thought it was my only chance was a tie, but I really thought I was going.
Okay. Now that you have that second life, I mean, do you feel like you're still in danger at this one, or you flipped things and you feel a lot more comfortable?
I've felt in danger since the 652, I believe it was. Whichever came first, that or touchy subjects. I've been uncomfortable.
Yeah, that came first.
Then.
That was right before the marriage.
Yeah, I've been uncomfortable every vote since then.
How do you try to feel more comfortable with this group of people? Are you building better bonds? Are you saying, you know, it's okay to take me further? Like, how do you convince people to, you know, be more okay with you surviving in this game?
I just think the longer we're here, the more conversations we can have, and they can get deeper and deeper. Every round you have that opportunity. So hopefully it helps. And also, like, half of these people I just met mid-day 3. So the fact that we spent the night together and we've had chats this morning, I just think the more time you have, the better your chances. Or
yeah, we hope. So Ned kind of gave a speech at the end of last tribal council, maybe hinting at what was to come and saying you weren't a fan of it. After the fallout, I mean, how did you approach the people that maybe did what you didn't want them to do?
Well, I mean, like, I was in my feelings a little bit. I obviously was left out of the vote, but I am here playing as, like, a really big fan of this game. And so, like, almost, like, I was, like, pissed for, like, 2 seconds. And then almost immediately after, I went up to the people who they didn't even, like, lie to me. They just, like, did a different thing than I was expecting. And I was like, honestly, work. That was, like, that was cool. These, like, I don't know if, like, the people on the live stream can see the way in which these 5 women are obliterating us.
They see.
I'm sure they see, but, like, but I don't think they understand. Like, it's just visually, it has a certain look, but, like, and they have Isaiah and I voting against each other this round too. It's like, it's wild. It's like they're killing it, and it's just fun to be in this game with them. And I think we each made emotional plea. Did you, girl?
Yes.
I did.
Very much cried. Very much. A lot.
So yeah, I think.
What's the selling point, Isaiah, to keep you one vote further? Eventually this group might need to break up. Are we admitting that this is a group right now? Eventually that group is going to need to vote amongst each other. Are you a number for them, or what are you pitching?
Honestly, I think my pitch was just, it was not against Ned. It was more so telling my story as to why I'm here, and who I am as who I am as a human being and how much this means to me to be here and to be here as the last POC queer in this game, and to make it as far as possible, just because I know that even if I go now or I go next, unless I win the immunity, like I am accepting my fate at this point, and I'm so proud of these women. So yeah, I was just explaining my story and why it would mean more to me just to get that one little step further, and that's about it. That was my selling point.
Okay, Kira, I mean, I can see you consoling Isaiah there. How hard is it to balance those personal reasons versus, hey, this is better for my game if one of these two goes? I mean, they both gave you emotional pleas, so it must be really difficult, but how do you balance that?
The balance is really hard, Cam. Everyone that is playing this game has a huge heart and souls that are so deep and they're so profound, and it is very difficult to separate that. Like it is constantly being intertwined with every thought. You're having those like counter thoughts that are crossing and being like, am I a bad person for doing this? Does this reflect on my true character? Like, am I going to regret this? But ultimately, it is a game, and I am consoling him because I get it. Like, I'm a woman, I'm queer, so I feel that double whammy in life, and we face these adversities, and a lot of people don't understand that we live with it and sleep with it every single day. And it's a battle that we face for the rest of our lives, and I sincerely understand how much it drives us further with everything that we do.
Yeah, very well said. Kendall, there is this group of 5. In that group of 5, I imagine there's a group of 4. In that group of 4, I imagine there's a group of 3. There's probably a couple groups of 2s in there. How do you make sure that if I am going to go with this 5, you're positioned correctly to get closer and closer to the end and not number 5?
I don't know. I feel like I've kind of been on the outs kind of throughout this whole merge, and people keep grabbing me as a number, and that's fine, but I don't know, and I'm also worried about that.
Okay. I mean, Liz, if I were playing and I were in your shoes potentially, I have a group of 5. If I go down to 6, I can only pull in whoever's left of Ned and Isaiah and potentially make it 3-3. If I pull in both of them right now, I could pull in a group of 4 where we're saying 2-2. Was that at all discussed at all and saying, hey, let's flip this now before they get me?
I think that, that's always something that crosses your mind. I think you're thinking of every possibility that could possibly happen, which is multiple things. And so I think you really just have to weigh the relationships and the connections that you do have. Trust your word. And that's the scariest part of this game, is that, I mean, you trust people and then there's a blind side, and you know what I mean? And so I think, again, that's where, Kira was touching on. It's hard sometimes to separate the emotions and the gameplay, but when you focus on the game, you have to figure out, okay, this is an individual game, what's going to get me to the next round, and then ultimately to the final.
Okay. Kaylee, congratulations on the immunity win. Is there ever anything going through your mind as you're playing these challenges, like, oh, the closer I get to the end, maybe I don't want to win this one. Maybe I'm safe this round, but this is going to put an even bigger target on me next round?
Definitely crossed my mind, but the way that the tribal councils were going, I had to give it 110%. There was no throwing there. I was surprised that I figured it out, but in the end here, it comes down to who is going to win that next immunity challenge, who is, like you said, going to be the 5, the 4, the 3. And I think, like Liz said, I'm going to trust my gut and trust the words of the people I've been talking to, and that's all you can do at this point, is have faith that it's all going to work out.
Okay, well, you tricked me last time. We'll see if this was all a big ruse again. We'll get to the vote. We'll start with you, Ned.
All right, and away we go to have a little chat of our own. just making our way over to the boulder, out of earshot of our players, so we can talk about everything we've just heard. Plus everything I have heard. All right, just making our way down our usual path, over to our boulder, out of earshot, so we don't affect the game. Okay. Desiree saying, I look like I want to spill some tea. Well, Desiree, you would be right. Gotta say, these players are out here earning the nominations for their Emmys. Because this tribal council might not end as straightforwardly as it was portrayed there, which is, I guess, the common theme in the last several vote outs. These players are good at saying one thing as they plan to do another. So let's kick it off. Let's talk a little bit about the last tribal council first. So obviously last tribal council, there was a whole big, it's Amy, she's going, that's it. Dion went home instead, as we all saw. Ned saying that, oh, you know, everyone said goodbye to Amy already. We've all said our goodbyes. Amy asked this round, you know, so who did say goodbye to you? She said, only the men. None of the women said goodbye to her. So, so that was interesting. Ned, speaking of Ned also really playing up in that tribal council that, oh, you know, I was left out of the vote. I didn't realize that, you know, I kind of had heard the name, but I didn't realize that was the plan. Ned's super playing that up too, from my understanding, because he purposely voted in the minority to appear that he is completely on the outs. However, as we know, he has strong bonds with Kendall and strong bonds with Liz, and was presumably left in the know. So let's get to, I guess let's get to Ned and Isaiah. So Ned looking to the end game, not feeling like he can win, would love to see maybe a Liz win or a Kendall win. Isaiah apparently felt emotionally manipulated by the Amy vote last round. And so he's kind of feeling maybe a little dejected, but I am told that both Isaiah and Ned are kind of, as we see, they were acting like super dejected and like the vote was between them and they were voting each other. I'm told they might be playing that up in an effort to cover up a different plan, that they're hoping to like just have everyone assume that it's them, and they have some banked votes up their sleeve that they might be looking to use. Let's head on over to the girls group, the 5 that was mentioned at Tribal Council. So that in that girls group, there is Kira, who is all in on the girls. Obviously that would mean the vote would be between Isaiah and Ned. Seems like several of the players are kind of like, sorry, something bit me and I don't know what it was. Anyway, so a lot of the players, a lot of the women left kind of wanting maybe to be Isaiah over Ned. Remember, Ned has those secret and not so secret strong connections. So the women kind of eyeing Isaiah as a vote. Kaylee also in that grouping. She's feeling like a bigger threat. She's thinking that she's not safe no matter, you know, Women's Alliance or not, perhaps, and kind of feeling like she might need to win her way to the end. Let's see. Liz also in on the All Girls Alliance, wanting Isaiah over Ned. However, there is another group of people out there that we haven't discussed. People were real worried about them for a while, and looks like people now sleeping on their threat, but we still have a majority of old Tyrem. And we have Ned, Isaiah, Kendall, and Liz that are the 4 remaining original Tyrem people out of currently 7 players. And some of them are thinking, I think I might want to stay Tyrem strong. Kendall talking about a pact that they made on day one to stick together. Kendall really wanting to stick to that pact and see that out. Kendall also, the Tyrem OGs are eyeing an Amy vote because they are all very, very worried about her threat level. Speaking of Amy, she did give Ned a heads up that the vote might be coming his way because Amy is thinking the vote might be Ned over Isaiah, because that's kind of what she wants, but she did appreciate that Ned gave her the heads up last time, and so she wanted to return the favor this time. Let's see, so back to Kendall. I got stuck on one comment and now they're not rolling through. Okay, back to Kendall. So all the girls have been offering her F2s. I should say women, not girls. All the women have been offering Kendall final twos or pair deals because they don't think she's doing anything. Kendall has been apparently super playing up, not knowing anything, being super acting super lost, like she doesn't know what's going on. But obviously we know from the streams that she has been doing a lot. She has a secret alliance with Ned that's been super well covered up. She placed a fake idol. She has an idol of her own that only Liz knows about, as far as I know still. So she has a lot of tricks up her sleeve that if she makes it far enough, she's going to be able to bust out. So that's really exciting. I think I hear someone calling me, which is great because I think that's pretty much the end of this round of tea. Yeah. Oh, also, I guess I should tell y'all, Kira did not vote last round. She banked her vote because she did not want to vote Patrick because Kira and Patrick were super tight. Or I guess a round or two ago she banked. So this is the last time she can use that banked vote. No, next time. So she might be hanging on to it for next vote. Maybe she's banked this vote. I'm not really sure. So yeah, I think that's pretty much everything. Good talk, y'all. All right, looks like Cam is heading on out to tally the votes as we enter again. And I just remembered one more thing I wanted to tell you, so I'll just tell you after the exit interview. All right, and back into Tribal Council we come. Players looking the happiest at a Tribal Council that I've seen them all day. Strange. Our final 7 players awaiting the results of the votes that they may or may not have just cast. Jury looking on, has taken everything in. Cam heading on back our way.
Anybody has a hidden immunity idol and would like to play one, now would be the time to do so. I'll get to the votes. First vote, Ned. Second vote, Ned. Third vote, Ned. Fourth vote, Amy. Fifth vote, Amy. Sixth vote, Amy. We are tied 3-3. Seventh vote, Ned. Eighth and final vote, Amy. We are tied 4-4. How this will work: Ned and Amy, you will not vote. The other 5 of you will re-vote. we'll start with you, Kendall. If there is another tie, we will go to rock.
Can we talk about it?
No. No talking.
Okay.
Kira.
I thought we were allowed to talk to try and break the first. No? Oh. Thank you. Well, let's go away and talk about those survivor rule logistics because I was confused, but thankfully Cam knows what the hell is going on, and now I know because he knew and told me. So, as we saw, the vote just tied. 4 votes Amy, 4 votes Ned. So now all the players have to go and recast a vote, except for Ned and Amy, who would only be allowed to talk to each other. Or, sorry, vote for each other. So, right, back we go. Oh my god, have fun. So, you could see Isaiah was like super surprised by that, or at least acting super surprised, and I'm not entirely sure why, because I feel like he knew Tyrem was sticking together and going for Amy, but I don't know. Anyway, back to the boulder. So, for those asking, wait, no talking, are they not allowed to talk? Are they allowed to talk? That's what I was asking Cam because I got confused. So, apparently, the way, I guess the way it goes is that they recast, and then if they are still tied again, they can talk and try to come up with a consensus, and then if they don't do that, then they go to rocks. I thought it was that they talk to try and convince each other to vote a certain way and then go vote, but then go to rocks. So I was wrong, and apparently it's the other way around. So all the voters are now just having to sight unseen decide if they lock in on their vote that they did or if they want to flip it around to something else. Banked votes do not carry over to another vote. If you've used a banked vote, that's like your parchment that you've just voted and given away. You only, I think you only have one more vote to cast. Although I'm not totally sure on that, I'm sorry. I don't have the paper that the players all got with like all the official rules, and apparently I should have gotten it. So I'm trying to remember because we did this. No, I don't remember. I'm sorry. It's possible you can use the banked vote again. It's possible you can't. Actually, I think you can use the banked vote again since technically it was votes. Because if you couldn't use the banked vote, you couldn't like immediately it wouldn't have the possibility of tying again. So I'm glad we're talking this out in real time and figuring it out together. So yes, I believe if you used a banked vote in that last vote, you still have your 2 votes to both vote with this time around. Because that to me makes sense. Otherwise, there's no fear of rocks. It would immediately break the tie anyway. Yeah, so what color are the rocks since we won't see them? Sad face. I actually don't know. I'm assuming they're black and with 1 white, but I'm not entirely sure. Oh, thank you. Bobby saw the paper and banked votes will be allowed to be reused. So they are allowed to be reused again. And again, the players are all voting right now for either Ned or Amy. They do not have to vote for the same person that they voted for the first time around. And in fact, that is the goal. Because if they end up tying again in a now 3-3 split, since Amy and Ned can only vote for each other, so they're not casting their votes, then they have to verbally try and agree on someone. And if not, they go to rocks, which is where they literally all draw a rock, and if they pick the wrong rock, they're just straight up out of the game. So it's something that, you know, you have to feel pretty strongly that that is your absolute best game move to be willing to go there, because you're just literally risking your life in the game and you're gambling at that point. So, you know, I see in the chat that y'all want rocks. We'll see if the players give us what we want. All right, heading back over. Looks like the last player is voting right now, and Cam on his way out. All right, let's find out what's going on. Cam coming on in with the voting box for the second time this tribal council.
All right, I'll get to the votes. First vote, Ned. Second vote, Amy. Third vote, Ned. Fourth vote, Amy. We are tied 2-2. One vote remaining. The next person voted out of Can You Survive the Great Mountain and the fifth member of our jury, Ned. Sorry, that's enough. Got it, George.
All right, and we are following Ned on out. Ned seems to know the drill, that we are heading away from the tribal council area, but still on the live stream. Ned will get far enough away, and then this will be your time to kind of share any thoughts you're having, anything you want to say to me and the viewers. So we'll head on into like the Tyrem camp hallway, and then we'll be able to catch up with you there. So if you can just head on down that way. And we'll stop you maybe at that second little hill there. Right there is perfect. If you want to pause. And this is your time to just share anything you want to share.
Oh, I cry at like super commercials. I'm probably gonna cry. That was so fun. We got a little spicy at the end. I'm glad I could like throw a little chaos in. No regrets about how I played. Yeah, I was playing hard. It's so much fun. I'm usually such a witch with a B when I'm hungry. And I haven't eaten anything except for like the 1 million calories I ate yesterday in the auction. And yeah, I've been like so, like, I'm just having so much fun. I'm really sad it's over.
I'm so glad to hear it. You did get to experience a ton of this game, making it all the way to the final 7 on day 4 of this game. So congratulations.
Thank
Tons
you,
to be
Lucia.
proud of. I would love to know maybe something that you're most proud of about yourself in your time here.
I think just like the way that I was bodying the pre-merge, to be honest with you. I controlled every vote. I knew where it was going. I really wanted to get the Tyrants back together for this vote to make sure Schneid and Jess knew that we didn't just like vote them out willy-nilly, that there was part of a plan. That I know that Liz decided not to join Kendall and Isaiah and I because she wants to win, and to be honest, I want her to win too. Although I also want Kendall to win. Isaiah's screwed lovingly. I didn't get to make fire to bring out the fire making challenge. I would have been so.
They are.
So yeah, I'm really proud of the way I controlled every vote before the merge. I was acknowledged as a threat. I was playing a loud game, and it was fun. It was fun to just try this, and yeah, I think I can separate how I would have liked to do things, have things go different, and just loving this game and what it does. So
Yeah.
thanks to all of you for watching. Thanks.
Yeah. I would also like to know, before I let you go, maybe something that you learned about yourself out here, maybe some fun moment you had out here, just, you know, anything like that.
So, Angela was asking in my confessional earlier if, like, what it would mean to win, and I was saying to her that, like, I already won because I learned. I just, again, when I move to new places and meet new people that don't,
Absolutely. Absolutely. Ned, before we let you go, eat something for the first time today.
So bad.
Oh, and that too, you were playing for a very worthy cause, so please
Yes.
shout them out and let all the viewers know who you were playing for.
I was playing for the Hedrick Martin Institute. They are the nation's oldest LGBTQ youth services organization. They do wraparound services for all LGBTQ youth in New York City, but especially those that have been kicked out of their homes, which I'm really very fortunate to not have experienced only love. I've only experienced love from my family. My best friend works there, and they're an art therapist, and I just really wanted to play for them. So, sorry for rambling. That's
No,
my style.
we love it.
I went out on a villainous note. They got me good, girl. But I tried.
All right, Ned. Well, thank you so much, and congratulations on a game well played. We will hand you off to your handler, Robbie, who will take you from here to get you showered and fed and all that good stuff. So, and we will see you back at the next tribal council. All right, y'all. That was a fun one. I got very confused wondering how there were only 5 votes, but there were 6 votes that should have been cast. Turns out Ned played one of his banked votes, and obviously that was rendered useless when he could not go back up and vote. So that's how it ended up in a maybe 3-2 thing. So yeah. We're already setting up the next challenge. Ned, with his eagle eyes, kind of already let you know what it was if you were listening closely. But we should be, Cam, starting the next challenge.
Yeah,
10 minutes? Okay, great. We'll be back here in 10 minutes, going live again for the next challenge, and I think it's going to be a very fun one to watch. So, see y'all in 10.